Hey, welcome to Stack Manager demo to see about the latest improvements we've done. So let's start with the new stack. Let's configure it. Let's put a name like Java app. Let's choose the compartment. Here, let's choose the subnet, private subnet. Okay, then let's pick up the gateway. Then let's configure the gateway route. Again, with one single endpoint for root path for the port 8080 in our Java Springboot app. Let's add that port. Okay. The Java Springboot app now contains the configuration for the log file. So that's in the application properties. So we don't have to basically add that to the container as configuration, but that's the volume. So logs, so it was var log. And now let's create the container for the Springboot Java app, and let's pick up the container from my OCI registry. And like said, no configuration is not needed because it's in the application properties, but let's configure the logs and port volume. I mean logs volume and port to the container. To pull the logs, add the sidecar again, log writer, volume logs, and then the OCID of the log. Copy paste. And then the log header, let's put Java app. And this path for the log is fine. Let's add it. So we have the volumes, the port, the configurations for the sidecar, so we can check it. Yeah, looks good. So let's do the first deploy. And now a new thing we have done is a state file to object storage. So there's the stack manager bucket where it stores all the state files, and then your personal compartment you're working on, and then the application or the deployment name. So you can share, you can load this state, and it also keeps track on the changes. So yeah. So meanwhile it's doing, I'm putting on a pause for a second, then let's continue. Okay, the container has been created. Container instances deployment has been created, and the containers are running, and the manager should pick that up in a sec after the stack and deployment completes. It's here, still in progress. Yeah. Containers are running. Yeah. The log writer and the Java app. Let's refresh this one. Okay, it succeeded. Okay, and now we got the deployment container instances IP. So the stack manager is updating the gateway for it, match it in the routes. Let's wait for a second to do the update, and then let's try the app here. Okay, and already tried. Okay, yeah, it's up. So I've updated the Java app so that it prints out a counter here on the page, and also the private IP, which is or the container IP, which matches the private IP of the deployment. Okay, so that's running. Now let's try to check the logs. So we got some printing here. We can see the Springboot was started. Let's go to the extended log, and we should see something like 9 here. Yeah, hello 9 in the bottom. Okay, good. So logs are working. So let me do another full deploy, and then we can try the redeploy feature that is especially handy for developers. So I put on pause again, and then let's resume once it's done. Yeah, the second container was created with the stack. So we can see it running here. So Stack Manager is still finalizing the deployment. A new thing here is that when the second deployment becomes active, we actually put the first deployment into inactive state to save some resources, save consumption for that deployment. So there's always just one active, just one container instances deployment running actively. So now it's updating the gateway, and once it's done, we can try test the app. So we can click here. Okay, still using the old one. Counter is increasing here. Okay, now the gateway was updated, and the second deployment becomes active, and we can see the counter resetting here for the container because it's a new deployment, and then the IP address has also changed, matching to the second container deployment. And this is the new thing here. We're inactivating the previous deployment once the second becomes active, and vice versa. So if we go here, we can see that the first deployment is being updated to a stopped state. Okay, yeah, inactive. So if I reload this page, we should see that the second deployment is inactive because we don't need it. The application is working through the second deployment. Now let's try to the redeploy feature only, which for which I'll do a change in the app. So right now it's printing this hello. Let's add this message instead, or replace this message when the new deployment gets running. So save, and then I'll push the change. Um, and this is in GitHub. So there's a GitHub Actions pipeline that does the compilation. So this should kick off here. Yeah, test change. And it starts building the Java Spring Boot container. So meanwhile, it's doing, well, maybe we can wait for a second, not to miss the update. It's building, and then finally pushing to my OCI registry. Okay. Yeah, I think it should, yeah, okay, now it's done, it's been updated. So let's do redeploy only for the stack. So what does it mean? I click here and it starts redeploying the um, first deployment without creating the stack again, because the stack hasn't really changed. Only the container code has been changed. So we only want to renew that or redeploy that part. So I will put this actually to auto. I refresh and let's see what happens. So now this runs the old container still. The first deployment is being refreshed with the new container. Um, we should see that the Java app 1 is updating here with the new source code or the new code to run it. Okay, it went through. Now we're out in the gateway to it to start using the new container, which should appear here pretty soon. So it's still running the old one, old one, old one. But when okay, so now, yeah, we could see it there. This message came that hello from the new instance and the counter restarted. So that was pretty convenient. So we didn't have to recreate the whole stack because there were only code changes. And finally, we're updating the second container uh, to to inactive state, which is going on here. Uh, Let me refresh. So the Java app 2 is going to inactive, and we're still running from the first deployment. Okay, one final thing, we can try the logs again. Okay, lots of logs. So we can see here is that number 38. Yeah, hello 38, the last row. That's from the new container. And yeah, if we were making new changes again, then just cleaning the redeploy or the full deploy if we were making changes to the stack itself. Okay, that's for the demo this time. Thank you so much for watching.